to see you today watching this channel. Welcome. My name is Reuben Kimani, CEO, Username Investment Limited. I'm happy to see you today. I hope you are doing well. Today I would like to convince you that you don't need a loan to start a business. Very, very important. If you look at our country today, everyone has a loan somewhere. They either have a loan with a commercial bank, they have a loan with mobile lending. There are so many. They are charging hefty interest rates. Some have loans with Shylocks. If you look at our country, we have trillions of shillings of debt. If you look at Fuliza, for example, Mshwari and many others, they are in billions of shillings. I think we Fuliza billions of shillings every day. People are taking loans in droves, and I think the most sad thing about these loans, some of them are taken for consumerism. They're just being used for consumption, buying mobile devices, buying furniture, buying food and many other things, going for holidays. It's very sad, not to say that they are not good things. We all want to have them, but they are taken at the expense of other things like investment. If you do a lot of consumption in a short time, you'll go very broke. Today I would like to tell you how exactly you can be able to start a business, not necessarily needing a loan. For some people, they think this is not possible. The people who have been waiting and looking for loans from relatives, from banks, from government, from all over, so that they can finally live their dreams, so that they can finally start their business. One to you, if you start with a lot of money, imagine collapsing your idea with millions of money belonging to people, belonging to government, belonging to commercial banks. It is very sad because you will be at a loss, at a deficit, money that you cannot be able to bring it back. There are two stories I've read in businesskenya.com. You can go there and read it for yourself. About two ladies. These are founders and CEOs of businesses. We are talking to small businesses today. You don't necessarily need a loan to start a business. Let's start by Clara Morton. She's founder and CEO of Dream Reality. It's an event management company. They took a loan at the beginning of the business. However, this was proved to be a costly mistake. There are things they learn, and I will quote her. She advises entrepreneurs to avoid loans at off cost if the cash flow is not consistent. Remember, when you're starting a business, just an idea that have started, you're not making money. People not flocking into your business, into a shop the first day. She says if an entrepreneur must take a loan, they at least have to wait until their venture is financially stable. Target loans that can make you money. Then you have Modoni Jankwe, founder and CEO of Steadcom Limited, the digital marketing and advertising agency, very modern business. Took a circle loan to start a business, very popular with our young people today. She don't take into account how long the business will take to break even. Basically, how long will your business take to make money? This is her advice. Before you start thinking about opening a business, ask yourself, how long will it take for the business to break even? How long will it take for the business to survive without profit? Very, very important. She says if it takes less than 2 years, you have to reconsider your plan. Go to businesskenya.com, one of the blogs in the country, and read that story for yourself. What you note from these two stories, they are talking about first, your business becoming financially stable. Number two, breaking even. What they are trying to tell you, you don't need a loan to start a business. What you need is for scaling a business, growing a business. When you have an idea, there are so many ways to be able to test it, whether it works. One of the things about business I will have to teach you today, this is based on my experiences, is that you don't need money to start a business, you need money to grow a business. Once you have already tested your idea down the street, in the estate, on the ground, that is the time you know what works. Do you know how you know what works? It's through experience. Even in other industries, even in other careers like music, like arts, business included, you need to be able to go to the ground to understand what works and what works. What doesn't work. You don't read it in books. The people who are looking for information all over you only know what works when you're in the ground in any career. That's how the world works. It is also the same thing for a baby that is growing up. There's no way a baby can skip that stage of crawling, that stage of walking. They wake up one day, all of a sudden they walk. They have to start crawling, they have to try to walk every day, they have to keep falling. That's exactly how business works. You keep learning things every day, not in the books, not in theory, not in class. Unfortunately, those who are doing a lot of courses is very important. But remember, when you come to the ground, you have to learn what works and what doesn't work. Once you know what works, that's the moment you need a lot of money to be able to scale it up, to be able to bring it up from the ground. Username investment was started in the year 2013. Of course, we had done other businesses. We had tried other things on a smaller scale. Never be written somewhere. But what you don't know, by the time you are coming to fund our business, we had already tested some few things which we will never tell you about. Of course, we took personal loans, things you basically, what you need to look for is a way to start your business at the level you are in, at the environment you are in. Most of you start a business by savings, start a business by looking for money. Some people will have to sell what they have, like phones, very simple things. Some will have to sell furniture, maybe you have land. Some people have inheritance. You start with exactly what you have to be able to, something that you can be able to afford to lose. One of the things they teach you in the stock market, invest fast what you can be able to lose, especially when you are at a learning phase, so that you know the counters that can make you money when you put millions there. Very high risk. Somebody gives you 10 million, they need maybe at a rate of say even 20%, they are very expensive, even 30%. You have to return that money, and it's 13 million shillings. Imagine all of it goes down. You don't have nothing to return. What will you do? So you first learn what works, then put your money there. From these experiences, of course, I have learned few things as a person which I'd like to share with you. Like I said, you don't need money for starting a business. You need money to grow a business. Unfortunately, you'll make so many mistakes. You need to make mistakes when you have 10,000, not when you have 5 million shillings. And the only way to do that is through experiences. You also need to take an account, and this is why business plans are important. How long will small business side hustle take to make money? This is called break even. You do sales projection. We tell entrepreneurs and those who are trying to start business, have a 5-page document called a business plan. Basically, it's very simple to say the research you have done about the market, the gap you are trying to fill, the pain points you are trying to address. Any business must address a pain point. I have to tell you that for a fact. Then number 2, you have to say your sales projection. It looks like this is a business. Business is about selling. Very, very important. You don't have a business if you cannot be able to sell. How much revenue or how much turnover, how much sales are you going to make in the first year, second, third, maybe even in the first 6 months, so that you can project how much revenue you can be able to make vis-a-vis the cost that you're going to have. It also clarifies for you your vision so clearly. And it also highlights and opens your mind to tell you the kind of problems that you might face. Maybe you realize you have to sell 100 units and you thought selling 5 would be okay for you to be able to meet your visions, for you to be able to grow. That becomes a challenge. Some people will wake up and realize, I have to sell 1,000 things for me to be able to make money, and that wakes you up. So a business plan is important. Also, the money that you will need for you to be able to start. You might realize you don't need so much. You don't need to borrow loans. There are people who are looking for loans, a solution looking for a problem. You're looking for loans when you don't know how much money. Maybe you just need to sell your phone, some few assets here and there you go. So you need to do a business plan. Very, very important. I'm taking time in that. Also, it's also good to be aware. They say 9 out of 10 businesses fail in the first 1 year, and this is global. It's not just a Kenyan situation. If you are aware about that, you have 9 out of 10 chances of business failing. Not to discourage you, it's good to have your facts straight. Entrepreneurship is not easy. Businesses are not easy. It can fail. When you have that knowledge in mind, you know that I can't take money that I can't afford to lose. If it is 9 out of 10, and that's why you don't run to a bank to look for a loan. So someone said borrowing money to start a business might mean that you don't know how to make money. Most of these big businesses in the world, even Kenyan today, they did not start with a lot of money. They started because there was a need in the market that needed to be addressed. People are willing to pay for a need in the market even when you don't have money. Very, very important. If you come with your billions, I've seen people do that, especially in the property industry. You say people are making money in real estate, in land, in housing, then you come with your money, look for investors out there. You don't understand how people make money. Your billions will go down the drain as compared to another person who may have started with nothing, but they understand the pain points, how these businesses work inside, and how do they do that? By starting in a small way, so that you learn what works and what doesn't. By the time they are scaling up, these guys know how to make money, and that's exactly how it works. In some of our business, you don't need huge loans from the bank because you have figured out other innovative way of working things around, and you also need to do the same. Very, very important. What are the disadvantages or challenges of borrowing money from banks or from financial institutions charging high interest rates? One of the things is that, and I have said this many times, I keep saying, by the time you borrow the loan, you don't know how the business works. You don't know the challenges, you don't know the problems, you don't know where. We have a lot of fraud in Kenya, in many other sectors. It is so easy to fail with so much money that doesn't belong to you, so much interest. So that's a disadvantage. You don't know so much, you're not experienced, not on the ground for long enough. The repayments are usually so huge. Remember, you pay the principal and the interest, and your business is not making money. The third problem is the reduced cash flow that you experience. One of the biggest problems, not just in Kenya, all over the world for businesses. One of the things that kills businesses is not lack of ideas. One of the biggest things is cash flow. Cash flow is the money coming in and money coming out. Sometimes you may receive 10,000 and your expenses are 100,000. How do you pay people? How do you pay rent? You get flushed out. So that balance is very important, the revenue coming in and your expenditure. So you experience reduced cash flow because you are paying the bank for interest. That is one of the challenges. Startups don't have a lot of money. These are started by people maybe leaving the universities or leaving employment. People who don't have the advantage of capital. So you don't have collateral. That's one of the challenges that you'll experience. Because you don't have collateral, why not start the lowest form possible, in the lowest level possible with what you have? Some people can start with a laptop. Like I said, in real estate, you can start by becoming an agency. You sell other people's properties, do your own projection, be as aggressive as you can, understand the market the best way you can. Once you get that, maybe over a period of 1 to 2 years, you now have capital to be able to start your own business. The biggest capital is not money. The biggest capital is to understand how a business works. If you understand how a business works, the same thing with money. If you understand how money works on a personal level, even when you don't have money, you're still a rich fellow. When the money comes, you'll be able to multiply it, you'll be able to invest it, you'll be able to save it, you'll be able to use it for the benefit, to compound it. That is what it means when you understand how a business works. How do you do that? Definitely, zero option, through experience. Get in the business, run it for a while. You'll understand the challenges, where it pains, where that shoe pains, where to make losses, where you can easily get stolen, especially in real estate. You can't understand when you are reading books. Of course, there's also challenges of CLB, which it's a big challenge. If you've listed in CLB, you may not be able to take more loans in the future, especially if you're a business person and business owner. This is a big issue. People may ignore CLB for some time, but one time it will come to hurt you. I know someone, very senior member of society, who was taking a loan, millions of money to do an estate. We're talking about maybe more than 100 million shillings. And the loan was not approved because of because of a very small loan. They did not know it exists. And it was taken by mistake, I think, by one of the relatives or something of the sort. And it was when we talk about like 1,000 shillings being owned by Akina Tala, Akina Blanche and stuff like that. So they did not understand. They only got feedback way later when the deal has gone under the chair. The girl had gone down. They could not be able to roll it back. You see, these deals, especially some of the opportunities, they come in a while. If you're denied a loan, you have to start from scratch, which is extremely difficult. So that guy suffered a loss of more than 100 million because of a loan in CLB of 1,000 shillings. What am I saying? Don't ignore your credit rating as well. Ensure you are clean, because when you start a business worth 10,000, one day you want to do 1 billion shillings or $1 billion or stuff like that. How do you do that when you can't be able to finance your business in future? Those are some of the disadvantages, but I would not end this video by telling you how can you start a business easily without depending on banks. There's something called venture capital. You can look for people, like if you give them 10%, 20% shareholding, they can be able to finance your business. You need zero money to be able to do that. There are people who are afraid of giving shareholding because they say young or stuff like that. You think the idea is worth nothing if it can't be implemented or put in the commercial market for it to make money. Apple, Facebook, and all these companies, big ones, they had to give shareholding for them to be financed by these angel investors. That's exactly how it works. You can give it out because at the day zero, your business is worth 0 shillings. So when somebody gives you 5 million, they want 20%. Don't be afraid, you can do it. You can buy it back once you start making money. And that's exactly how some of these businesses like Apple have been done for these years. These are venture capitalists. They're also called angels. You can look for some of them are companies and individuals. You have Kenyan companies there. These are capital companies like Safaricom was running a Spark Fund. There was Fanisi Capital, Savannah Fund. There are so many capital companies in the world, in the country. You can look for individuals as well. There are people who learn something like the way you have Dragon Den, you have Lions Den in Kenya, and many other. You can try those forums. But one of the easiest I would tell you is to look at what you already have. There are people who have big phones, worth 50,000, big laptops. There are things you can be able to dispose. Or you can be able to look for a simple job somewhere, a manual job, and you make enough money. For some others, is savings. You can be able to save for 6 months to try to test an idea. For some ideas, you don't need money. Be very, very creative, because that's exactly what we did in using investment. At some point when someone stole from us, we partnered with a landowner. Land worth millions. We could not have afforded that, but that's how we were able to start the business. Look for government grants as well. We have Uwezo Fund, Women and Youth Fund as well, to be able to get that money. But like I say, don't depend entirely on this, because you get frustrated. You can look for the easiest way possible for you to make money, for you to start your own business. There's also asset financing. Of course, this comes from a financial institution. If you have an asset, for those who have land, you may be able to construct a house using the proceed of using that as a collateral. Then they give you, like I hear they give 70% if the land is commercial or something of the sort. You can be able to use an asset you have to get funding from somewhere so that you can start with it. You can also do strategic partnerships. Very important. Like I said, you look for someone who has something you don't. They have capital and you don't have. You have the idea. They fund the business idea, and then you run away with it. The last thing is savings. Very, very important. Most businesses have been started with savings. Your savings, you can lose them. Few savings as you test the idea. If it works, that's when you now go to a financial institution and you look for money. Very, very important. I think we'll end there for this session. Thank you so much. Please subscribe to our channel, like our Facebook page. We look forward to seeing you next time.